City of Moscow and Lathrop County, representing citizens to gain information regarding upcoming over-legal loads expected to be transported north along US 95 and on the way to Montana. I am Bill Lambert, Mayor of Moscow, and I'm pleased to chair this meeting. I appreciate attendance by our City Council, staff, and Lathrop County Commissioners. I also want to acknowledge the members of the public who are here today. I appreciate having representatives of Idaho Transportation Department, Idaho State Police, Megaload, the Transportation Company, and Forestry Engineering. As we have indicated in our press release, the purpose of this workshop is for the City Council and county representatives to receive information and ask questions regarding upcoming over-legal loads, which either have been or are awaiting permits from the Idaho Transportation Department. We also have Les McDonald, Moscow Public Works Director, Moscow Chief Police David Duke, Fire Department Chief Dave Reynolds, Tom Gruden, Moscow Community Forestry Administrator, here on behalf of the city. Other city staff is available to answer questions as they arise today. There have been several over-illegal loads which have previously been permitted by ITD, and these loads have moved through Moscow since 2011. The loads have moved north from Lewiston up US 95, which includes sections of Washington and Main Streets, comprising US 95's North Couplet. These loads were evaluated and determined by ITD and our own engineering department not to represent a threat to city streets and underground infrastructure because of the weight distribution of these loads. Likewise, the Community Forestry Administrator determined the potential impact of urban forest and determined that previous loads do not pose a threat to the properly maintained street trees within Moscow. The proposed loads being permitted are larger than these previous loads. They are expected to be approximately 440 feet in length and 1.6 million gross pounds in weight. Because of this much larger size and length, there are concerns about potential damage to the city's public infrastructure and the impacts to the traveling public and overall public safety. This workshop is intended to address these concerns. I realize that the movement of these large loads and the intended purpose of the loads have generated a lot of controversy among some members of the public. While these are valid concerns and the public certainly has a right to voice these concerns in the appropriate forum, that is not why we are here today. As noted in public notices and press releases, the workshops will include interaction among local elected officials, representatives of ITD, ISP, Megaload, and Forestry Engineering. I do not intend to accept comments or questions from other attendees. Comments and questions have been invited to be submitted in advance of this meeting to the City of Moscow. Those questions and comments have been submitted and they have been compiled by our staff and have been made available to the workshop participants. It is my understanding that the Idaho Transportation Department will continue to accept written communications and will provide note cards for your convenience. At this time, I'm going to go around the table and let the panel introduce themselves. And start with my left here.
Walter State, Moscow City Council President.
David Duke, Chief of Police for the City of Moscow.
Art McKee, City Council.
Wayne Crouch, City Council.
Alan Oswald, Idaho State Police.
John Weber, City Council. Dave Reynolds, Moscow Fire Department.
Les McDonald, Public Works Director for the City of Moscow.
Tom Grundon, Parks and Facilities Manager, City of Moscow, and Community Forestry Administrator.
Tom Lamar, Moscow City Council. Adam Rush, Idaho Transportation Department, Office of Communications.
Joel Hoff, Idaho Transportation Department, out of York, and Manual Engineer. Chip Cashel, Megaload USA South, Project Manager.
Phil Bandy, Enforcement Associates, Senior Scientist.
Tom Stroshine, Lathrop County Commissioner.
Thank you all for introducing yourself. Folks, I'd like to have an orderly meeting here so we can get this information out for all of us. And the questions will be answered by our panel will comprise of the questions that have been submitted that we have in front of us. And I'd like everyone just to be respectful to everyone and we'll carry this meeting out and continue forward. One of the biggest concerns, I'm going to turn this over to ITD here, was load size, and infrastructure and safety. And I think that's one of the biggest concerns that I've seen from multiple folks. So I'm going to turn it over to ITD.
Thank you, Mayor. As I mentioned, I'm with City of Lewis, or District 2 out of Lewiston, and I spoke extensively with our committee office out of Boise on this particular load. And what it all actually comes down to is the distribution of the weight based on the number of axles that they've been spread the load out over successfully. And what we do is we have like a root capacity map. And our route on Route 95 from essentially Grainesville all the way up to the Canadian border has a capacity of what we like to term in two different, I guess, definitions there. The allowable amount of basic allowable amount of weight that you can apply per axle, and the amount of weight you can apply per inch width of tire. And so if you can picture just your standard pickup or a log truck or a chip truck, the typical amount of weight that is spread out on the footprint of the tire, the width of the tire, is how many pounds you put per inch. So for this load, not this particular one, I'm looking at the largest one, and that's 640 pounds per inch of width of each one of the tires that is on the trailer of this load. For to put it in perspective, for a logging truck, a grain truck, maybe a lumber truck, that averages somewhere between 300 to 400 pounds per inch of width of tire. There's a number of annual permits, oversized, over-legal permits that are permitted in District 2 that are allowed to go up to the maximum amount for the state for US 95 is, for this purple route, is 800 pounds per inch width of tire. So they're under the maximum amount allowed by 160 pounds per inch. There's a number of annual permits for those that I mentioned. Approximately 194 annual permits are utilized in District 2 by citizens, business owners for District 2 in our vicinity. Those kind of trucks that are hauling, we typically have large logging equipment, graders, excavators, cats, that kind of thing. And those guys will end up, they have an annual permit, and they can haul up and down this road all they want. They can haul day and night, 7 days a week, holidays, whatever they want to haul. They don't take up 25 feet of road, but they can haul all they want. So those guys are generally in the vicinity of 600 to 700 pounds per inch width of tire. And going back again to what Mamoot is proposing, I do want to expand on that. The permit has not been issued at this time from Mamoot, but their footprint per tire again goes back to this concept of inch width of tire, the 640, which is below the maximum allowed on US 95.
Okay. Darrell, you made a comment about we do have vehicles right now that they're not the size naturally or the width, so they don't have to travel at night or on times that are currently running between 600 and 700 pounds per square inch.
Per inch width.
Per inch width.
Not PSI, but inch width.
Okay, and that is, and that happens daily. That's not an unusual thing.
Yes, and that, you know, that's the 194 permits that are existing in our vicinity. Does not include, there's actually 4,390 or so permits in the state of Idaho that are issued for annual permits, oversized overload permits. So that doesn't include the guys who may be traveling from north to south and south to north through our district. That's just a small number of the District 2. I'm not saying that there's approximately 5,000, 4,500 permits, because there's, Idaho's a big state. So, but there's lots of permits that come through here that are in that 600 to 700 pound per inch with the tire. And there's no way of knowing. I mean, I asked this question a couple of times this morning. Well, how many times do they go through, you know, Moscow? How many times do they go through those? And we don't keep track of that. Once we issue the permit for them, that's an annual permit, and they can go up and down all they want. Well,
So Darrell, a contractor who owns a D10 cat
yes,
can get an annual permit, and he's able to, I think you said, to move that cat on the District 2 roads 7 days a week, 24 hours a day as he needs to.
yes, sir.
He doesn't have to come in every time and say, I need to move it from here to here, I would like to get a permit.
That's correct. But I want to make sure that, you said District 2 roads, but there's only a smattering number of purple routes in District 2.
Now, on the purple routes,
Thank you.
Highway 95,
Is a purple route.
Grangeville to Canadian border is the purple route.
Yeah.
So that's District 2 and District 1.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wayne?
Mayor, thank you. Darrell, you also said that we also measure weight by axle weight.
Yeah.
Can you do some comparisons there, please?
Sure, certainly. You know, this particular schematic that I have here. Excuse me. And I take it for the head.
What's the weight?
The axle weights on these are 43,538 pounds.
Midsection.
I'm sorry?
It's the midsection.
Oh, yeah. Well, 43,538 pounds per axle, right? Okay, and now going back again to our route capacity map, and the fact that this load is, I think you told me it was, I mean, it's 27 feet on here, but you said it was
20 foot wide, 20 foot breadth.
okay. So basically what this thing is doing is you take the 43,538 because it's spanning both lanes. So you have two axles, or two sets of tires on the axle, and it straddles the center line, and each set of axles is going down, you know, the northbound and southbound lane, as it's heading north. And what you do is, according to our route capacity map, based on the purple route again, the amount of weight on a tandem axle, which is a two-axle setup, is 51,500 pounds. So you have two axles together, and that you're allowed 51,500 pounds. So you divide. You can take this 43,500. That's one truck going down one lane, right? Okay. And you actually can take this number of this axle and divide it by 2. This number, 43,538, because it's got one set of axles going down one lane, and then the other lane is spanning the whole road, not just half the road, spanning the whole road. So this one gets half of 43,538, and this one gets the other. Versus the route capacity map is allowing a tandem set of axles to have 51,500. You follow what I mean?
Well, you play real dumb on this, Darrell. I'm not understanding. Let me tell you how I'm hearing it, and you correct me.
Sure.
The regular truck takes up one lane,
Yep.
and that's 48,000.
Yeah, I mean, we're allowed.
Per axle?
Yeah,
I'm saying because the axle on your rig is taking up 2 lanes, divided in half. Come on. Let's just take the center line and move it 3 feet, now you got 1 lane.
take the center line and move it.
I don't,
It's spanning.
it's one piece of pavement, whether you got a center line and in it or not.
Mr. Kraft, because of the fact that the road, this trailer is spanning 2 lanes, the center line. It's driving in 2 lanes at once. So, you have, okay, so you have one set of axles going up the northbound and one set of axles going up the southbound. And this route capacity map is based on the fact that one truck is going up 1 lane.
Doral, it sounds like you really can't go by axle weight, then you have to go by
Either way, we're under
inch.
the capacity of the requirement.
To follow up Wayne's question, so if you've got a 51.5 maximum on the purple route for 1 lane, you have double that if something's traveling both lanes? Is that the math?
51.5, if I double that, both lanes.
In other words, if you take up the whole highway, and you've got 51.5 for a tandem axle maximum on 1 lane.
On 1 lane,
You have double 51.5 for both lanes.
yes.
John, I'll go move on for that.
I think the reason that there might be a little bit of confusion about that could be that when you're using both lanes, under normal circumstances, you've got traffic going one way, traffic coming the other way, but at any point, you could have both lanes filled.
Filled, yeah.
And what you're doing, or they propose to do, by blocking the 1 lane for a period of time, they're gonna have both lanes filled going the same direction.
That's correct.
Bingo, John.
Talking a lot about per tire inch weights and per axles, how many axles are we talking?
I'll defer to Chip. He does that off the top of his head.
32 axles, 8 tires wide on the trailer, plus 4 trucks with 3 axles per truck.
And this is in what kind of linear distance altogether?
440.
So, put this in perspective for me too, we're talking fully loaded chip trucks. How many chip trucks would fit into that same space versus how much this load represents?
If you went to the linear, so side by side, you get 16.
So 16 chip trucks were cheap hydraulic. And weights,
Depending on the chip truck,
Oh.
obviously.
so
About,
Yeah.
you're about 80,000 pounds.
Yeah, figure it was 105,000.
so versus the load in question, what's the,
So call it 100. Well, if you said 16, I'm going to take 100,000. That's 1.6 right there.
so about the same, so running a part of 16 chip trucks all up at the same time.